It's always difficult for people to pronounce Chinese people's name. My name is in Chinese is Zhou, so you can call me Qi, my personal name. It's really my great pleasure to give some brief introduction about real situation in China about stem cell research and application. In fact, I prepare a slide to introduce myself because it's many people feel surprised why are people coming from Institute of Zoology here talking about stem cell therapy. Because this institute is quite special. I worked, this is the only state key lab for reproductive biology research, and this lab is maybe the only state key lab for stem cell research in China. And we are the chief scientist institute for stem cell research in China, and also we're trying to organize the excellent center for stem cell research in China. I will introduce later what's that. Some information here is already old data according to the presentation this morning. It's lots of clinical trial with adult stem cell, but up to now, not any case related to embryonic stem cell trial in China. This is the information I don't want to mention too much because many other scientists, people introduce the situation. But during the past several years, lots of debate about stem cell tourists in China. As I try to make a summary, China should be one of the country in the list of stem cell tourists. In the list, at least 19 countries involved in this list. And the average cost for each treatment is $47,000 for each treatment. So how about the cell therapy and how about the stem cell tourist in China? All these data you can find it in the published paper in different journal, Cell, Science, Nature. Because it's already published, I don't want to mention too much. And today I want to introduce some things. It's very few chance to be published, open to public. It's because I think the boundary of the language is still a big problem. In China, it's lots of document discussion is always in Chinese. I try to introduce briefly to you what is the real situation. In China, I try to introduce such as for the funding. During the 5 years project in China, we provide about, it's a 3 main resource for the research funding. From Ministry of Science and Technology is about $200 million in 5 years. And from Chinese Academy of Sciences, similar, about $160 million in 5 years. And other funding resources in National Science Foundation, it's about $100 million. And for the project, such as in the Chinese Academy of Sciences, we have about 3,000 scientists, including the staff scientists and the postdoc, working for stem cell research, and they used all these funding, and including the 18 institutions coming from the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and about 11 university and hospital working with us together. And for the institution, the clinical basis, it's still in Chinese. I haven't enough time to translate into English. But you can see most of the institution and hospital located in the Beijing, Shanghai, Guangdong, and this is the mainland of China. It's this list is about 200 hospital and about 50 or 80 institution working for stem cell research and cell therapy. Last year we got the registration, the list about how many hospitals working for that. This is the main list of the institution and clinical basis. About the publication, during the past 10 years, it's increasing very quickly, and last year is also the number 2, but it's different, quite far away from States. During the past 10 years, it's number 5, the average. So for the regulation for stem cell therapy, during the past many years, it's because we don't know how to regulate stem cell therapy. So most of the regulation is more or less to follow the drug, the chemical regulate. It's also including the basic research, preclinical, clinical level, and the how to create products. The regulation, it's the real working model for Chinese government. We want to divide all the protocol in several different parts. First is for the clinical trial. It's starting from the banking work. And during the past 5 years, more or less we focus on to push every people working with clinical grade cell line, both including the embryonic stem cell and adult stem cell. The clinical grade means xeno-free, no serum, no animal product. And with these clinical grade cell line, you can start for the preclinical trial and the phase 1, 2, 3. This is the working model. And for the governmental level, we have several different departments in charge of the research and the cell therapy, including the Ministry of Science and Technology, National Science Foundation, Chinese Academy of Sciences. This part is really focused on the fundamental research. And for the application, we have 2 different ministry and agency. One is the Ministry of Health, and another is Chinese FDA. It's in charge of the control of stem cell application. This is a different stage. For preclinical and fundamental research, it's before the phase 1. And after the phase 1, 2, and 3, it's really controlled by the Ministry of Health and FDA. This is all the guidelines since 1999, all the guidelines related to the gene therapy and the cell therapy, such as the first guideline published nearly 11 years ago. It's regulate about human embryonic stem cell, how to use the cell line and the human embryo. This is the first guideline, and another should be very important guideline is year 2009, but it also was doubted by the other people. With this guideline, it's very difficult to be controlled because to use it as a kind of clinical technique and well under control by the FDA, it means the other people very difficult to sign out their application. And another very important the regulation is published last year. It's totally forbidden the cell therapy in China before the June of last year. And after that, all the organization, institution, hospital, they must send application for registration. And during this time, we are trying to publish the new regulation. I think maybe will be published very quickly. I will introduce the principle, the guideline. And during the past many years, we're working a little bit with the international standard. You can find some people here, some participants, the picture here. It's based on the ICF International Stem Cell Forum. In Beijing, we organize a clinical standard, grade stem cell, the banking and the stem cell line, the workshop. And after that, we already published several papers describe the guideline. And we also did a lot of work translate the ISCR, the guideline, into Chinese. We want to let more and more Chinese people really understand what is the international standard or guideline. Such work was supported by, sorry, I only put the image here because avoid of interest conflict, we never open to public the name of the committee. We organized the committee since year 2011. It's the coordinate, this committee coordinate all the stem cell research and application. The director of the committee is the Minister of Science and Technology. And all the Ministry of Science Technology, National Science Foundation, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Chinese Academy of Sciences are the member institution or ministry. And we also have another one is really for the industry and application. We also have the list, the control of the future for the translational application. And this guideline is recently we discussed about nearly 2 years. It's still unapproved by the government. We hope we can publish it very quickly. The first part is the quality control of the preclinical research. And the working model is like that. There will be the main two parts. This one is the National Health and Family Planning Commission. It's a new department that combined the two, Human Planning Commission and the Ministry of Health. They're working together now. And another one is China FDA. FDA will control the stem cell quality control. And the new department will control for there are two different committees. One is a national leading group of clinical stem cell study. This is about 20 people working for that. It's the same reason we never open to public for who will be in this committee. And another is the National Stem Cell Expert Committee. It's for scientific review, and this one is for the cell therapy review to different committee will in charge of different application. And this one will control both for clinical basis. It's will review for who will be the clinical basis, will get the certification, and also in charge of the review of clinical trial. So the guideline, the time is already escaped. The security evaluation, validation, and how to evaluate the condition and the management of clinical base, and how to send application, and how to control the stem cell clinical trial, including different parts. The same, it's at each level, we can stop the clinical trial. We can stop, and already some cases, we stop it. It's case one, we stop Jilin Hospital. Already the hospital's license was canceled. It's 2 years ago. And the second one is about illegal application therapy. This year, it's in April, we canceled the stem cell therapy. And this is coming from the Jinan. It's a hospital. They already performed the stem cell therapy. And also in Shanghai, the second one should be in Shanghai. 2 Korean people get the stem cell treatment in Shanghai hospital. It's an unapproved technique. So the same, we stopped the hospital's work. So for this is a more or less focus on what we did during the past many years, combine the fundamental research and application. It's very important we set up the stem cell bank in China. Now we have a full national bank, so I think it's, well, I have to stop here. How many cell lines inside, and these lines is very important. After we publish the guideline, this will be the first batch of cell, both including embryonic stem cell and adult stem cell, will be the reference the cell line in China. It should be in the future, all the lines will be compared with the reference line. Some preclinical trial, and different from states, we also have lots of preclinical trial, including the non-human primate. This is several national center, primate research center, and the pig center. So the last one.